This, in fact, was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
Now imagine this, a massive raid shakes one of America's biggest auto projects to its core. Federal agents stormed the Hyundai electric vehicle battery plant in Bryant County, Georgia, detaining hundreds in the largest single-site immigration enforcement action in years, possibly ever. But here's the twist. These aren't your typical border crossers. Most of them, out of the 475 people arrested, are South Korean nationals caught up in allegations of visa violations and having an illegal presence in the United States. What will be the long term of this? What will happen to Hyundai? I don't know, but 500 people just got arrested and they're getting shipped back to South Korea. Let's break it down.
Line them up on the wall. We ain't no criminals.
Now, surely, when the CEO of Hyundai was saying they're going to invest $26 billion into the United States, this wasn't what they were talking about, right? Surely they weren't planning on shipping in hundreds, if not thousands, of illegals to come work in the United States, right? But obviously something is going on. I mean, 500 jobs is a lot of jobs that could have gone to American people. It's also a lot of people that are getting shipped back to their country. Now, locals are pissed because they found out that is a lot of jobs that they will be getting back. But if it wasn't for this ICE raid, they would have never known. And it's like, hey, that is a lot of jobs that we could have had working at this plant, but you guys were giving them to Koreans.
All yours. Warrant for this entire construction site, okay? We're Homeland Security. We have a search warrant for the whole site. We need construction to cease immediately. We need all work to end on the site right now.
Now, this coming from Tory Branham, a Georgia politician, has said ICE has just swarmed the Hyundai mega plant in Ellabelle, Georgia. They said folks were running away, hopping fences, and trying to escape via rooftops. For months, folks have whispered about what's going on behind those gates, and now the truth is finally catching up. I reported this site to ICE a few months ago and was on the phone with an agent. Georgians deserve to know when our jobs, our safety, our laws are being undermined by illegal hiring practices. It's also a humanitarian crisis when women are allegedly being trafficked and the bodies of illegals are allegedly being buried on site. Helicopters are circling, law enforcement is blocking the gates, and the federal government is finally taking a hard look at what is happening here. Now, that is a big deal, folks. Those are some major allegations. Can you imagine if it's true that they're actually human trafficking people through the Hyundai plant? That is insane. They're supposed to be making cars and pushing cars out, not pushing people through there and putting them wherever else. It is a huge facility, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that they could hide people and have another operation going on inside. I mean, there's over 1,400 to 1,500 people supposedly working there.
Omar, good morning. With more than 450 people apprehended, this marks what appears to be one of the largest ICE raids at a single site in the 22-year history of this agency. Now, here's what we know. This happened at the Hyundai Meta Plant site. This is in Ellabelle, Georgia. This is just 25 miles or so west of Savannah. And according to the Associated Press, this raid stopped construction of this factory that's being built to produce batteries for electric vehicles. This same site, this same project, this was touted by Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp, who called it the largest economic development site in the state's history. Now, we have video that we're showing in pieces here of masked and armed agents there at the site, giving out orders while officers raided the facility. We can also see workers here in hard hats and vests. They were lined up as this was ongoing. On site was ICE, Georgia State Patrol, FBI, DEA, ATF, They were executing, Omar, a search warrant that DHS says is part of an ongoing criminal investigation into this, quote, allegations of unlawful employment practices and other serious federal crimes. They're saying that this sends a clear and unequivocal message, too, that they're taking this very serious. And here is the special agent in charge, what he had to say about this raid.
We are making many arrests of undocumented individuals. We have encountered many lawful employees working here, United States citizens and lawful permanent residents, and they are, of course, being released.
Meanwhile, Hyundai says it is cooperating with law enforcement, saying this: we are committed to abiding by labor and immigration regulations. And meanwhile, Omar, on this same day, hundreds of miles away in upstate New York, another large raid at a work site. Dozens of workers at a family-owned plant that makes nutrition bars were also apprehended during an ICE raid. CNN affiliate WSTM reports that about 60 workers were detained. New York's governor condemned this raid, saying it doesn't make their streets safer. And the owner of that nutrition plant told the New York Times that the workers had legal documentation to work in the U.S., calling this ICE raid a, quote, overkill. Omar.
Well, Isabel, thank you for bringing us those details. The scale of those raids, notable at the very least.
The biggest ICE raid in history. That is insane. And who would have thought it would have took place in Georgia? You know, everybody's talking about California has so many illegals, which is true, but they really are spread out throughout the entire United States. I would have never thought that there are 500 illegals working in that factory. Literally 1/3 of all employees in the entire factory were here illegally. That is insane. How many more companies like that are in the United States? How many large companies are covering up for people? And the bigger problem is the trafficking. If the trafficking situation is true, that is going to be insane. Now, the Georgia representative did say that they were burying bodies there. Now, if that is actually true, that is a huge problem, right? Something will obviously have to be done. And it really makes you think about all the people that are supposedly going missing. And obviously, there are a lot of people that are missing: women, children, men. It's just insane how many people are missing in the United States. Not just the children. I mean, it's a terrible thing. So if they are trafficking people through that building, oh my gosh, let's hope and pray that they all get taken down and that it will lead to something even bigger, because that is a huge facility. Absolutely huge. So the amount of people that could have already been pushed through that place is probably mind-boggling. It's disgusting. It truly is. Let's keep it going.
There was a majority of Korean nationals from the 475. I don't have the exact nationality breakdown for you, but we can likely get that after the fact.
Were these employees of HLGA Battery? Were they employees of construction contractors that were doing construction work on the site? Who did they work for?
As we had determined through our investigation in advance and certainly experienced yesterday, there was a network of subcontractors and subcontractors for the subcontractors there. So the employees worked for a variety of different companies that were on the site. It was not just the parent company, but also subcontractors, and we're unveiling that whole network.
But some of them work for the parent company, is that right? The Battery, HLGA?
Yeah, we continue to work on the investigation of who exactly worked for what companies.
Where are these 475 people now?
They are in the custody of ICE enforcement and removal operations.
Where?
Most were brought to the Folkston D-Ray facility last night, and they will be moved based on their individual circumstances beyond that.
Yes, ma'am.
WTOC has been investigating and reporting on the presence of undocumented workers on the site for about a year now, and so this has kind of been something that's been known to some extent in the local community. What is it that prompted Homeland Security investigations to look into this?
Yeah, we are aware, and we have monitored that reporting as well. We have also received many leads from community members, from prior workers. We have conducted many arrests through the immigration operations throughout the state of Georgia that have identified other employees that, when encountered, informed us that they worked there. We have interviewed folks, and we have developed evidence over the course of many months in support of the investigation.
What are some potential consequences that the company could face, or is that something you can speak to right now?
I don't want to speculate on ultimate. This is an ongoing investigation. No charges have been filed, so that means that no wrongdoing is being accused at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a question. Was anyone injured during the process? Did anyone die during the process of this raid?
There were no substantial uses of force. There were no injuries reported, other than one individual was overheating a little bit and was treated on scene, and one agent suffered a minor laceration while conducting it, but no significant injuries.
Okay, and then during the process, you said this was a multi-month process. Can you kind of, I guess, give how many months did it take? I guess is my question.
This has been ongoing throughout this year.
So can we say January?
I don't have the exact start date of the investigation.
How does this operation compare to other operations in the state of Georgia and across the nation? Was this one of the largest ones, or can you kind of give us an idea of how big this was?
This, in fact, was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
I got to give Tom Homan a shout out because I truly believe that he cares about this country and that he's doing a great job. They're all working together as best they can, and it just really makes me think that there are far more illegals in this country than the numbers that they reported on. I've heard 20 million, I've heard 30 million. It could be more than that. It really could be like one of every four people, depending on what state you're in. California could be like 40%. I'm sure Texas and all these places have so many of them that are just integrated in society. But when you go to a place like this that has 500 illegals there, it's like, man, that is a lot of jobs that could have gone to the American people, which they will now, thankfully. It really does make you think about all of the people that have gone missing in this country. And really, at the end of the day, Tom Homan rounding these people up, shipping people back to their countries, is probably going to reunite a lot of people. A lot of people that have been trafficked hopefully will be found during Trump's administration, and Tom Homan cracking down on all of these illegals, because there is a more nefarious thing going on than just people coming over here trying to get jobs. People are being trafficked, people are going missing, and we need to crack down on this so we can get people's lives saved, so we can get children saved, so we can get women saved. This has to happen. So whether it looks ugly or not, at the end of the day, this is helping everyone. It's a win for everyone involved. Unfortunately, those people from South Korea will have to be sent back to their countries, but it's going to bring American jobs back to the American people. It's also going to help them get more leads on what's going on with this human trafficking all throughout the entire United States. Big, big win for Tom Homan, ICE, and everybody involved in this sting operation. Shout out to everybody in Georgia. They're going to be hiring at the Hyundai plant. That's 500 jobs. So y'all go ahead and get online, fill out an application, go to Craigslist, Indeed, or something, and get you a job at that Hyundai factory, because they're going to need people like yesterday. All right? You guys drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. You're watching Unexplained Outlook, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.